This video goes over how to set up and assign space uses in the Sefaira web applications, both Sefaira Architecture and Sefaira Systems. I am in the Space Use tab on this project, and here you're able to adjust a number of settings that are related to the occupancy and usage of a space. A great way to get started is with predefined space use templates, which you'll see in the drop-down menu at the top of the page. When you select a template, it will automatically populate the inputs below with typical values, which you can then customize if you like. Let's take a brief look through those inputs. They include things like internal loads of the space, the occupant density, equipment power, and lighting power, the ventilation and outside air requirements of the space, the HVAC set points and operating schedule, and the overall operating schedule for that type of space, which you can view and edit on an hour-by-hour basis if you like. And schedules, of course, for the internal loads and the HVAC system. Now, Sefaira comes pre-populated with a large number of default templates. But one of the really powerful features of Sefaira is the ability to save your own templates. For example, if I wanted to take a look at an office space that was targeting very low equipment power and lighting power, I could adjust these values, and then we could save the current settings as a new template. Let's call this an efficient office. That template is now available in the drop-down menu. It will be available on any of the projects that I'm working on, as well as to anyone else in my company. Now, in order to make analysis setup as fast as possible, Sefaira structures space uses hierarchically. What that means is that the space use that you select in the Space Use tab by default applies to the entire building, unless it has been superseded by a space use assignment in the Zoning tab. So let's go over to the Zoning tab and you can see what I mean. Now, in this particular building, I have already set up one zone per room, and I've drawn those rooms in my 3D model and imported them, and they've been recognized by Sefaira. So you can see those room-by-room zones here. And I go into more detail in other videos on how to go about setting up those zones and drawing them in your model. But the important part here is that once you have created those zones, you are able to modify the use of each one. And you can modify the space use either on a floor-by-floor basis or on a zone-by-zone basis. Now, by default, you can see that each of these values, if I haven't come in and adjusted them, will default to the values that are shown in the Space Use tab. So if I haven't overridden anything, the entire building is as I've set it up in the Space Use tab. Now, let's say I want to go ahead and begin to customize some of these zones, which are different uses. Let's say that this zone CO3 right here is supposed to be a commercial kitchen. I can come in, click that zone, and then I can override it using this drop-down. So let's select a commercial kitchen. So now we can see that CO3 has a commercial kitchen use type assigned to it. The other thing to note is that this drop-down contains any of the custom templates that you have created. So here is that efficient office that we created earlier, if I want to assign that to the zone. So the workflow then is to first define any custom templates or custom settings that you would like to use in the Space Use tab, and then come over to the Zoning tab and assign each one to the zones that you want to use it for. And in that way, you're able to customize the zoning and space uses of your building in a fairly detailed way.